got Jeff.
Well, let's talk about something that we have been talking about for several, I'm going to say several years, and it is talking about the affordability crisis. I'm going to call it a crisis with housing, and how first-time home buyers are, just how things are changing with first-time home buyers.
Dramatically.
Yeah, we read we were reading a report from NAR, National Association of Realtors, that was talking about the average age of the first-time home buyer, and 15 years ago, the average age was 30 years old for your first home. Today, it is 40 years old. So people are waiting almost another decade before they buy their first home. And as we were talking about with Zach earlier, a lot of that is because people their wages, the price of housing has outpaced wages.
100%.
Therefore, people who have been saving for a long time are having to chase that goal of saving. And there's been this really bad lack of inventory, lack of affordable inventory.
And some of the things that have made it so difficult, in addition to the lack of wages keeping up with the appreciation, is high student debt. And then also, what were they talking about? Not only high student debt, but also student debt and high rent.
Yeah.
And how you're seeing so many rents today just being ridiculously high. And so just is a pretty strong 1-2 gut punch right now for first-time home buyers.
And one of the problems that has been identified, not by us, this is not our magic idea or anything, but one of the things that is affecting this are institutional investors.
Yes.
And there's a lot of reasons that if you look back in history, this institutional ownership idea really started in like 2007 and 2008, because that was when the market was starting to crater, and it went down by 2009. It was really at the bottom like 2009, 2010, and there were a lot of investment companies and investors that started buying property, and they were buying cheap property, and then they realized, oh wait, we're buying a lot of this property, and we're going to be the benefactor of when the market turns, and make all of that money in the appreciation of it. And so it's it was like 2012 was where this actually became like a really truly recognizable investment vehicle.
And these investors the vehicles of investment have gotten larger and larger. And one of the things that they do is when they're making offers, it's not the same offer as an end user, someone who's going to live it and homestead it. They're able to come in and they pay at or above list. They really don't care about the condition, because they've got the strength behind them and the crews that can just come through and set them back up for rent, that it has propped the market up in a way that it's even accelerated appreciation even faster. And so you get first-time home buyers who are getting beat out because they've got to have, their lender maybe has to have requirements, or they have to have requirements on, certain repairs. And then you've got an investor who'll pay at or above and say, I don't want any of that done. And here's cash and I'm ready to close. I mean, it's a tough.
Yeah. And these have even gotten to the point where there are these institutional investors that are partnering with, like Lennar is one of the largest home builders in the country, and they've partnered with Lennar to develop neighborhoods, communities, with a few hundred homes in it that are they're the buyer. Right. That institutional investor is and when they're buying that at that volume, Lennar can do it cheaper, and they know every one of them is going to close. So it takes a lot of that financial component out, where an end user might pay $400,000 for that house brand new. The institutional investors are maybe paying $350,000, $325,000 to $350,000.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that we're seeing to help our buyers who are into that market to get a handle on it, I think it's being quick. I think it's also, you and I spend a lot of time making sure that our clients are well versed in a neighborhood, so that when that house comes on the market on day zero, that if it hits and it meets their requirements, they have the information from the past showings that we've shown them, that they can pull the trigger and feel comfortable in it. We also use Jeremy with SWBC, and he always makes sure that he's walked them all the way through the lending requirements, and that they're comfortable with that and they understand what they're getting into.
Well, and this is, I think something we're going to see changes coming. I think we're going to see legislative changes coming. There have been, I think, 3 or 4 bills already introduced historically that have all failed, but I think there have been 3 bills that have been filed to stop or at least restrict institutional investment in terms of this. And I think a couple of big things are going to happen. It would certainly make more resale homes available for first-time buyers, and it's going to be less cash competition. When somebody comes in and they're offering cash, and you've got Joe Smith over here who's doing a
5%
or even a 25% down, he doesn't look as good as that cash buyer over there.
It's very tough.
Yeah,
it is very tough.
So.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on this legislative discussions, and if there is a large one that comes up, we will definitely bring that back, because I think this is worth something as continuing and talking about.
I would agree. And if there's any other topics that you want us to discuss or want to hear us weigh in on, just let us know in the comments. We'll do it.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.